a couple of my friends, we were like,
contested.
Yeah, let's is gambling a thing?
Okay.
And I still think it is.
Yeah.
Um,
There's too many laws.
Yeah, it's a lot of laws, and state lines and all that other kinds of stuff. But we're gonna get there, and I
it
guess,
might be gambling with crypto. Maybe
you know
the
what
next
I'm saying?
That might be the next big thing, because
Yeah.
then it's decentralized and you're just playing a game at that point, quote unquote.
Yeah. And so I tell you, like, to sum it all up, like going from from Capcom to Digital Domain to like Magic Leap. Magic Leap was probably where I perfected my let's deal with smart people. I just
2 years and 5 months. Yeah, because the other ones
Yeah,
it's like you were going through a phase. You're looking for something. When
stability. I think a lot of people.
Digital Domain.
I think a lot of people look for stability in this business. Because game companies.
Blink an eye, they're gone.
Blink an eye, they're gone.
Yeah.
And look, Magically.
That was a big deal. That was a big deal when you went to Magic Leap. I remember talking to you about that. And
it's
like, oh my God.
And I still believe
in what they're doing.
In what they're doing, because I look at certain things and I think of them as technological sort of eventualities, right? Like, we will get there. It is just that, how do we get there? If you look at a smart device, and I say smart device because that's essentially what they are. I think they make you smarter. They allow you to have access to information like that historically has just been, you just
when you go into the library, man.
Yeah, like going to a library now seems like ancient. It seems like using an outhouse or something like that. Like what is a library?
It's mostly daycare. From having a kid, it's a good place to take your kid to expand their learning and stuff. But other than that, you don't really have a need to go there.
Right. And so for me, like, I remember like thinking about what augmented or mixed reality can do, and it takes me to a new place. To tell you how old I am, for example, like I remember having one of the first electronics that I really liked was this Casio watch that I had, and this Casio watch,
it's either Casio or Timex back in the day.
It was Casio, dog, because what I could do is I could keep phone numbers on my watch. Before then, I just knew all my friends' phone numbers, like in my head, right? And if I didn't, I remembered the pattern on the phone, right? But I only had like 10 or 12 friends, right? When this Casio watch came around, I could put like 100 numbers in there, so I had more numbers. So, but what I did was I seeded this knowledge for the knowledge that
free up some space.
I could free up some space, right? So now, it's so different, because now I have this smart device, right? Now with this smart device, I'm able to, go that step further. Like, for example, I doubt you know anything but your mom's number, maybe your sister's number, and your number, and your lady's number.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Everybody else, you don't know their number.
That's pretty correct. No.
You see what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you're smart. It just means that you have abdicated that space in your brain to something else, right?
True.
And so, but in doing that, now you have access to a couple hundred numbers. You see what I'm saying? So like you pick up the phone, for example, or you could just tell Siri or, a Google Assistant, like call this person, and it just happens, right? Or you could say, yo, I'm hungry, I want a burger. Now it tells you where all the burger joints are, right? Or, and how good is that burger? Well, these are the ratings and so on and so forth, right? So that's what a smart device has done, to the point where if I were to take your smart device away from you, you would feel significantly less super and smart, and you would actually probably start having some sort of withdrawal because you feel like you are away from the collective to some degree, right? That's what a smart device does for you, right? But what happens when your smart device becomes ubiquitous to just your glasses, for example, right? So if I could take everything that is in your Android device and put it on your face, with your glasses that you have on right now, you know what kind of beast you would be? I mean, it would be completely different. And what I mean by that is, that's what I mean when I say like mixed reality. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and like, say I put on my glasses, now I got Tony Stark glasses on now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I could basically, and this is, you could already do this. And this is the example that I use because I think it's perfect. With a Magic Leap or any sort of advanced augmented reality device. Okay. Now, right now, I could take a picture of you, right? Then I could do a Google search on your image that I've taken of you, and you're popular enough net-wise that I'd probably get a hit on your face, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and it would say Edward Bowman.
Yeah,
and it would probably take me to like your LinkedIn page and everywhere. All this other kinds of stuff and so on and so forth, right? And so I could do that with my phone right now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now. My phone's my glasses, right? So I could look at you. It could take a passive picture of you and say, that's Ed Bowman. Here's his LinkedIn information. Here's his past post on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And I'd be like, oh, so how was your trip to Cabo?
Yeah, but that don't have that working right now like that. It doesn't work as seamless as the user would want it to work. No,
but see, once again,
the concept is there, and I think people are on board for that.
But Ed, see, but this is when we get back to what I was saying before. Mm-hmm. I've seen Magic the Gathering cards when they were index cards.
Okay.
I saw GTA when it was top down.
Right.
Okay, I saw Call of Duty before it was Call of Duty. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, we are in technology. We need to be better than that. It's a lot of times it's not about chasing a trend. It's about creating a trend, right? And so when you can see technology, when you can see like the ramifications, 5-10 years down the road, get on, because we're the people who build it, right? And so what I'm telling you is that yes, right now, like if you look at a Magic Leap device, it has these big sort of goggles, and it has like this this carrying case.
Battery pack.
But look at how your old iPods used to look. Okay,
people still use them though.
I know, but as opposed to what your iPhone looks like now, it's just super slim,
or
right?
the Nanos when they went in that direction.
So that's what I'm talking about. Okay. What I'm talking about is that so when you start so now, okay, imagine if because if you have your iPhone on your face, you all of a sudden don't need a phone either.
Yeah, but I think even for the eyeglasses that were made, it was still kind of attached to your cell phone. Like they're not a one-off entity on their own yet. It will probably get there.
So what you're saying is that at some point, this iPod and this cell phone are going to marry and have a baby. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that might be.
Yeah, that's what. We'll think about it. You think about all the smart devices that we have, right? Where our PDAs. Right, like you think they're gonna stay like this tech brick and that's it?
Of course not.
No, like every time you see Google, a la Android or in Pixel, for example, or iPhone come out with a new version of it, they're not necessarily changing the paradigm. They're making things more powerful. There's almost nowhere to go now, right? And so that's why wearable technology, is the new hotness, at least in my opinion, right? Yeah. Because, once again, say I take my phone out, right? Now I've got, optical character reading that I could take my phone and I can hold it up against something that's in Spanish, and then it'll tell me what it is in English, right? What if that's on your glasses?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, it's like wearable technology and doing, technology that sort of enhances reality. That's holodeck stuff, man. That's where you want to be. And so for me, I remember one of the first tests I did at Magic Leap was I want to cast spells. This is Magic Leap, right? Okay, so I had. So we were messing around with like a wand, and how does it feel to actually carve out a spell in midair, and it was, you start facing new challenges. Like, for example, the coder who did it, he would throw this fireball every single time. He'd be like, boom, 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 boom. And I'd be like, every time I threw the fireball, though, it went behind me, and I didn't understand why. And it was because he made the fireball stick to the end of your wand, right? And to get it off, you sort of flicked it off. But I was doing this, right? I was doing that. And so what happened was you started to have different, once again, verbs that you could use differently, right? If you were interacting with things, okay, now even those interactions became different. Like if you're in mixed reality, and mixed reality means you're taking real things and augmenting things on top of it, right? So if there's a player or someone that you need to talk to inside a game in mixed reality, when they say come here, they don't mean push your joystick, forward to come here. It means bring your ass, right? And so you would have to physically walk over to where that person was and look under the table or look, and so that's a thing, right? Or when you're having a natural conversation with someone in mixed reality, once again, it's tracking on your face, right? And they say, how are you doing? Well, you could say, I'm okay, because you have voice recognition. Or you could go, and they could read that, right? Like they could read that you were nodding your head or shaking your head. And so that's how tech moves forward. That's how all of a sudden this game becomes a completely sort of different experience. On Magic Leap, we could tell when you blinked. We could tell when you blink, right?
So they had the inward-facing cameras onto your eyes as well?
Yeah, because we were doing eye tracking, right? So imagine that. Imagine a scary situation, something that's designed to scare you, right? And so say I'm over here, or the character's 10 feet away from you, right? And then you blink, and then it's 2 feet away from you. Right? Now I can scare you. It's completely different. Or just putting objects in front of you or people in front of you that are different. Like, for example, messing around with, communications, for example, right? Like, say I'm talking to you and we both have on, these glasses, right? And you call me, right? And so I see a representation of you, that I can see through my glasses, right? Well, you could be 6 inches tall, and so I talk to you like this. Or you could be 2 feet tall, and I talk to you like this. Or you're 20 feet tall, and I have to go, yo, man, can you shrink down or something like that? All these different things start to influence you differently. The best example,
very much Ready Player One.
Yeah, very much so. Like if you watch The Incredibles, the first Incredibles, and this is an example I like to use all the time, because it's about agency. Like if you can control how you are viewed, emotionally things are different. Like in The Incredibles, when mom and dad had a fight, and she could stretch, right? And she told him what he was about to do. What'd she do? She said, "You will do this." Right? And so if you could do that virtually, things change. And so, so from a design standpoint, I don't know whether or not Magic Leap is going to, succeed or fail. But what I do know,
they're testing the waters.
Well, not just that. That's tech eventuality. That's not like some fad. Okay, that's only going to get better.
And I think that goes hand in hand with what we were talking about earlier about the Stadia, because if they can get that online to work and be efficient no matter what, and then you pair on a Google Glass Plus or whatever it's going to be for the wearable tech, it's a win-win because you already know that streaming works. You just got to make sure that person can have an avatar or some sense of recognition within it. And now you're just in this place. That'd be crazy, man.
Yeah, the thing about it is that sometimes to be forward thinking, look, you got to strike at certain times because sometimes you can have the right technology, but not at the right time. Like I remember, back in the early '90s, for example, Sega was doing some crazy stuff, right? But they were on the right track. That they were just early. Sega created Heat. Sega created the 32X. The Activator, you see what I'm saying? So
they it's like they had the idea, but then they went vast with it, and they didn't focus.
Well, it's not just that, but conventional wisdom said you don't split your market by coming up with these different devices to add on, right? You don't do that, but
they're trying to prolong the longevity of the Genesis.
Yeah, but think about it. But think about it now, right? if that was the case, PlayStation Pro wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
PlayStation VR wouldn't be a thing, but it is, right? And so they had the right idea. I mean, look, Sega had Heat, which is their network back in the day to do online playing. You know, so it's like all this stuff happens.
Yeah.
The question is whether or not you're in the right time to do all these things. But you know, instead of being that,
especially with the competitors of they went to the Sega Saturn when they had those competitors of Sony and Microsoft on their tails, and it's like what Netflix did to Blockbuster, pretty much.
Yeah, and so you just and so that's kind of why, you know, from a technological standpoint, like a lot of times I don't think you know, this will never work at that. You know, I just go, I don't know. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah.